Night of Champions, an event where every championship in WWE is put on the line for our entertainment. Since Night of Champions is this Saturday, I thought I'd take a look back at the previous 13 Night of Champions events and look at all their main event matches and rank them. It started in 2007 but was attached to the Vengeance pay-per-view as Vengance Night of Champions. It then became its own pay-per-view and then got renamed to Clash of Champions. It's not one of the more important WWE pay-per-views by any means, but that doesn't mean the main events can't give us something to talk about, right? We haven't seen the event since 2020, but now it's back. So here's my ranking of all the WWE Night/Clash of Champions main events. Number 13, Sting vs. Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship in 2015. Oh, this match is just a yikes. I mean, Sting is all good now, he's having legitimate bangers in AEW, but at the time, not knowing Sting's future, this match just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. The match itself before Sting's injury isn't anything special. Rollins had a great match against Cena right before, losing his United States title in the process. Then John Cena hit an AA on Rollins before Sting came out. Sting just slowly beats down Rollins for a few minutes until Seth pushes Sting through the Spanish announce table. But if I'm gonna be real though, I could not stop looking at that one corner of the ring, just waiting for the inevitable buckle bomb to happen. Just watching Sting collapse is just super uncomfortable to watch. While it may be somewhat better in-ring wise than a couple other matches on this list, I just think we should keep it at the bottom because the injury to Sting is unfortunately the main takeaway from this main event. Number 12, John Cena vs. Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship 2014. Man, what a slog this match was. At SummerSlam 2014, Brock Lesnar had the grand opening for Suplex City when he destroyed John Cena. Total domination, shocking moment, pretty neat. Fast forward to Night of Champions a month later, Lesnar doesn't totally destroy Cena, but beats him down quite a bit throughout the match. Cena does get some shots in, but Lesnar just slowly beats Big Match John down for several minutes. However, before it's too late, John Cena gets fired up and hits several AAs on the Beast and puts him in the STF and does not let him reach the ropes. Now the match is starting to finally heat up, so what do you do next? You have Mr. Money in the Bank Seth Rollins attack Cena and cause a disqualification. Sad trombone noises. This was the third Night of Champions main event in a row to feature a messy finish. I'll get to the other two later. It's probably the worst out of Cena and Brock's 4 pay-per-view matches, and it's a confusing way to end your show. Like a month ago, the main event was just several minutes of Cena getting annihilated. And at your very next pay-per-view, it's the same match, just with the Cena comeback and then a DQ. At least we got that amazing triple threat with Brock, Cena, and Rollins at the Royal Rumble several months later. Number 11, the WWE Championship Six-Pack Challenge 2010. We haven't seen too many six-pack challenges in the modern era of WWE, so this was kind of a nice change of pace for a main event, at least in my opinion. The stipulation, however, is the only thing interesting going for this match. Jericho gets eliminated in 2 minutes, which, credit where credit is due, was kind of shocking. For several minutes in the match, we get Edge and Sheamus slowly beating down Orton, Barrett, and Cena. Edge then gets eliminated. Nexus attacks Cena and he gets eliminated. Cena and Orton overpower the Nexus, so Wade Barrett gets eliminated soon after. Then in what should be the most intense moment of the match, Orton kicks out of a brogue kick and then quickly beats Sheamus. This match is fine overall, there are some interesting little spots, I guess I just wanted a little more from it. If Sheamus and Orton had a few extra minutes to really go back and forth in that final 2, I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more. Number 10, Daniel Bryan vs. Randy Orton for the WWE Championship 2013. This match was alright. It's just like every Orton vs. Bryan match in mid to late 2013. Overall, the two usually put on a good match, but there's just always something. There weren't any big show run-ins, thank God for that, but we have a supposed corrupt referee. Daniel Bryan beats Randy Orton with the running knee and referee Scott Armstrong does a fast count. The next night on Raw, Triple H takes the title away from Bryan after he questions the referee. Scott Armstrong says some bullshit like, "They got us, Daniel," but of course it was all just a setup by Triple H to get the title off Daniel Bryan. The angle here isn't awful, I mean there's certainly worse. What baffles me is that nobody questioned it at the pay-per-view. Usually Michael Cole picks up on every little damn thing, but nope, not a word. Maybe it was all the commotion around D-Bry winning the WWE Championship again, but I mean, come on. This main event just feels like somewhat of a waste because this was the second time that Daniel Bryan had the title taken away from him right after he won the thing. Basically a pointless match in the grand scheme of things. Number 9, Seth Rollins vs. Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship 2016. Ah, the year WWE switched Night of Champions to Clash of Champions. Not really sure why they did the name change. I guess an homage to WCW Clash of the Champions, but WWE hates the memory of WCW, so that can't be it. I guess they just kind of wanted a refresh of sorts, but nothing new really changed about the structure of the show. I mean, it was a Raw exclusive pay-per-view, then the next year it was SmackDown's. Whatever, that's not the point of this list. While Rollins vs. Owens was pretty good, it just felt felt like a main event you'd see on your standard episode of Monday Night Raw. Rollins and Owens are two of the best, but nothing really stood out here. Decent in-ring action until a wild Chris Jericho appeared, and then a typical ref bump, you know the drill. It was Kevin Owens' first Universal title defense, so they weren't gonna do anything too crazy, I guess. Bottom line, this match was okay, but you won't lose any sleep at night if you never see it. Rollins and Owens did have a pretty good Hell in a Cell match soon after this, so go check that match out instead. Number 8, the 5-man WWE Championship Challenge 2007. Not a Night of Champions pay-per-view, but it is called Vengance Night of Champions, plus Wikipedia includes it in the list of events, so I'm including it here. This championship challenge match was 10 minutes, a main event match for the WWE Championship involving guys like Randy Orton, Booker T, Bobby Lashley, Mick Foley, and John Cena. I was really surprised that this thing was only 10 minutes. It was fun while it lasted, but it left me wanting a little more. Bobby Lashley took control the first 2 minutes of the match, but then got his ass laid out for the rest of it. Nothing super notable happens, but it's fast-paced, different combos of superstars brawl it out. It's simple, but it's effective, I guess. Good way to spend 10 minutes. Number 7, Braun Strowman vs. Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship 2019. Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins faced each other in the last match of Clash of Champions 2019, but they also teamed up in the first match of the night. They, for some reason, were the Raw Tag Team Champions heading into the event, and they would lose the titles to Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman put on a fun little main event. It was nothing special, but it had its moments. It started off pretty fast-paced. Both men were going back and forth. Strowman with the shoulder tackles and Rollins with the super kicks and a frog splash. Strowman did his little run around the ring a few times and kept knocking Rollins off his feet. Then Rollins does a couple of suicide dives and the announce table just falls apart under Strowman, which was silly. Unfortunately, the match ends with Rollins hitting a few stomps and retaining his title. Rollins hit the first stomp and Strowman kicked out at 1, which got the fans excited. Then Rollins hits another stomp and Strowman still kicked out. The fans kind of knew where this was headed, so there was a few boos. Oh boy, they were not ready for what was about to happen at the next pay-per-view. Speaking of which, when Rollins was celebrating his victory, The Fiend came out to say goodnight to everybody by attacking him on the stage. Ah, the memories. Number 6, CM Punk vs. Triple H in a no disqualification match 2011. A non-championship match main eventing Night of Champions. How dare they? But I mean, I don't blame them. What else was gonna main event this show? Mark Henry vs. Randy Orton? Cena vs. Del Rio? This no DQ match had high stakes going in, where if CM Punk won, Triple H would no longer be COO of the WWE. I'm gonna be real, I did not enjoy this match as much as I thought I would, but it still was a pretty good match overall. The majority of it was fine, with both guys brawling around the ring and in the crowd and on the stage. They made great use of their environment, and it was a solid fight. And I was thinking, so far so good, but then came the run-ins. Oh, the multiple run-ins. Out came the Miz and R-Truth. They attacked Punk and Triple H and tried to have CM Punk cover Triple H for the win, but the game kicked out. So naturally, instead of beating down Triple H some more to secure Punk the win, they beat up the referee. Okay. CM Punk and Triple H fought back against the Awesome Truth, then Punk got hit with a pedigree. Now it's time to throw in some John Laurinaitis antics. Punk then hits a go to sleep. R-Truth breaks it up because Lil Jimmy probably told him to, I guess. But in probably my favorite spot, CM Punk goes for a springboard only to get caught by a pedigree, but Punk kicks out of it. That really had me convinced that that was going to be the ending. And here comes Big Sexy, Kevin Nash. He comes in and slowly beats up both guys. This match just refuses to end. Triple H finally gets rid of Big Kev, hits another pedigree, and beats CM Punk to remain COO. Everything was fine before the interferences. You didn't really need all of that, man. This match was basically an Attitude Era main event, but if you ordered it off Wish. Plus, there's always the argument that the wrong guy won. I'm a big CM Punk fan, so maybe that's just me and my friend Mark being a little angry. Number 5, Jinder Mahal vs. AJ Styles for the WWE Championship 2017. The last taste of the main event scene Jinder Mahal would ever have. We all remember the infamous Jinder Mahal WWE title reign in 2017. He beat Randy Orton 3 times. He gave Shinsuke Nakamura his first main roster loss. Then WWE said, let's have Jinder beat him again. All the title matches were the same. Jinder would hit his basic little moves. When it seemed like he was about to lose, the Singh brothers would get their asses kicked. Jinder would hit the Colossus, then win. He lost the title to AJ Styles in the UK on an episode of SmackDown, robbing us of Jinder vs. Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. Oh well. The main event of Clash of Champions 2017, however, was not that bad at all. Maybe it's because I had low expectations, or maybe AJ Styles is just that damn good, but I enjoyed this match much more than I thought I would. The first half of this match, Jinder is just destroying AJ Styles. He's tossing him into the barricade, beating him up on the floor, damaging the ribs. It gets a wee bit boring, but AJ Styles makes enough comeback attempts to keep you interested. When Styles finally gets the upper hand on Jinder Mahal, it's the Singh brothers' time to shine and eat their usual serving of shit. Wow, that Styles clash on the floor sure looked fun. Styles retains his title, and you know what? I'm proud of Jinder Mahal. He had a match that didn't make me want to watch something else. Well, to be fair, I had to watch it for this list. But nevertheless, still proud of him. Number 4, Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship 2020. The last Clash/Night of Champions event for 3 years was main evented by the true beginning of the Bloodline storyline. It's crazy to see how far we've come since this match. Roman Reigns is a bigger star than any of us could have seen coming, holding that Universal title for over 900 days now. Jey Uso is actually smiling in this match. Since this feud with Roman started, Jey does not smile very much at all anymore. I mean, he pretty much means business and is somewhat scared of Roman Reigns now. Then you had Jimmy join up with them. Solo Sikoa debuted in NXT and is now on the main roster. Crowds have been back for a couple years now. This match is 30% wrestling and 70% family drama, which depending on who you are, that might be interesting or it just might not be your kind of thing. I didn't like the match too much the first time I saw it, but after a couple years, it kinda hits a little different. This match actually benefits from being inside the Thunderdome. You can just hear the two guys talking to one another. Roman telling Jey he should have just taken the payday is gold. Then you have Jimmy running down to the ring and telling Jey he doesn't have to acknowledge Roman and that he's already proven himself. Beautiful stuff. It's a shame that the Bloodline story is just being stretched and stretched, but maybe at this year's Night of Champions, we'll see a big shift within the group. Number 3, John Cena versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship 2012. In one of the only times CM Punk main evented a pay-per-view during his WWE title reign, he faced John Cena in a pretty good match. Their 2013 match on Raw and of course their Money in the Bank 2011 match are better, but the main event of Night of Champions 2012 is still a solid outing between the two. This match took place in Cena's neck of the woods in Massachusetts, but the crowd were pretty much split. While I don't have any major complaints about the match, I will say the ending was a bit of an odd choice. Throughout the match, every time Cena or Punk would hit their signature moves, the crowd would get really excited. Then when they would kick out of said signature moves, the crowd would get even more excited. There were quite a few big moves in this match, and hell, Cena even does a suicide dive. But the match ended in a draw. Cena hits a German suplex from the second rope and both guys have their shoulders on the mat when the ref counts 3. It's presented as if Cena won, but then the ref informs him of the draw. The match had all of this momentum and then just an unnecessary mess of a finish. It's not the worst ending by any means, but I mean damn, it's the main event of your pay-per-view. Definitely was not a fan of that ending. Plus it doesn't help that Cena, the good guy, is whining to the referee saying, "Are we gonna end this on a draw?" Like, okay John, you're kind of acting like an upset little toddler, but hey, I might just be overreacting. Although the finish was a bit of a bummer, these two had a good match and the chemistry between the two is just fantastic. Also, I remember exactly where I was and how I felt when this match ended, and young me was just happy that Punk retained, so that's why despite the ending, it's among the top main events of Night of Champions. Number 2, John Cena versus Triple H for the WWE Championship 2008. A match that was 2 years in the making. John Cena beat Triple H at WrestleMania 22 to retain his WWE Championship. But this time, Triple H is walking in the champ. This match is actually very well paced. The first half of the match, Triple H is getting all of his moves in. Every time Cena gains a little bit of momentum, Triple H fires back. It's only after Triple H takes a nasty tumble to the floor that Cena sees his opportunity. Triple H hits a pedigree with the messed up knee but takes too long to cover Cena, so we get a kick out at 2. John Cena finally hits an attitude adjustment, but it isn't enough to keep the game down. The ending is very back and forth, with both men going for their finishers, then locking in their signature submissions. It's a match that truly feels like a main event. Two of the biggest names in the company battling it out until one just can't go anymore. Very, very solid match and you should definitely go check it out. And number 1, Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship 2009. I may be a bit biased here because I love both Jeff Hardy and CM Punk. Their 2009 feud is probably in my top 10 feuds in WWE history. CM Punk is upset that the fans cheer someone like Jeff Hardy and Punk is just preaching about his straight edge lifestyle. The fans hate CM Punk and they absolutely love Jeff Hardy. Punk and Hardy always put on entertaining matches and they put on a good match for this main event. With Jeff Hardy, you never know if he's gonna win the big one. He won the WWE Championship in December of 2008, then lost it a month later. Then when he won the World Heavyweight title for the first time, CM Punk cashed in Money in the Bank and took the title off Jeff immediately. So when Punk hits the go to sleep in this match after countering a Swanton bomb, the fans go nuts when Hardy actually kicks out. CM Punk starts to panic and tries to pin Jeff Hardy a few more times, but he will not stay down. Then Punk does the typical heel tactic of just trying to take the title and walk right out of that building, but Jeff Hardy drags him back into the ring and starts wailing on him. Jeff Hardy may have never gotten a lengthy world title run, but damn, I'll never not have a smile on my face when I see Jeff Hardy get his moments. Night of Champions 2009 has a very solid main event that never really slows down and sends the crowd home with a feel-good title victory. And there you have it. Boy, a lot of these main events had shenanigans surrounding them. A lot of solid wrestling though. Just imagine if a few great matches on this list had proper endings. Hopefully we get a good main event and just, show in general out of Night of Champions this Saturday. I'll be doing some live reactions on my Twitch channel, and I'll be posting an edited version of the stream to this channel, just for a little bit of fun. I hope they end the show with Styles versus Rollins. That way they could put the new World Heavyweight Championship in the spotlight, so we know it at least has some importance. Thank you all for watching. What was your favorite match on this list? Am I wrong? Probably, but let me know your rankings. I'll see you all Friday for my Night of Champions predictions. Goodbye.